10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Go Falcon. Go hunting. IXPE.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Nominal first stage chamber pressures.
T plus 40 seconds into flight, successful liftoff of the Falcon 9 from Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy
nominal.
Space Center. We're carrying the IXPE satellite into an equatorial orbit, and we just throttled down the 9 Merlin 1D engines in preparation for the next event. That's the point of max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. That coming up in about 10 seconds.
Vehicle is supersonic. Max Q.
So with that, we are through the highest stresses on the vehicle from the combination of our increasing velocity and the decreasing atmospheric density. Coming up next, the next event in about a minute will be MECO, that's main engine cutoff. We'll shut down those 9 Merlin 1D engines in preparation for the next event, stage separation. The first and second stages will separate, and then at about T plus 2 minutes, 44 seconds, we'll have SES-1, or second engine start number 1. That's where the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will ignite to carry the second stage and the IXPE payload into orbit. So again, those 3 events coming up in succession: MECO, main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, and then SES-1. And this view, looking down on the Merlin 1D engines from the first stage, you can see the plume expanding as the atmospheric density drops off, so we get higher and higher in our atmosphere.
First stage engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
And back ignition.
So those 3 events successful: main engine cutoff, stage separation. Left-hand side of your screen, you can see a view of the first stage deploying its grid fins, starting its recovery sequence. The second stage on the right-hand side of your screen, we've got a shot of the Merlin vacuum engine glowing as it continues its ignition to carry IXPE into orbit. Next major event coming up will be fairing deployment. At this point, the second stage...
Stage 2 on nominal trajectory.
The second stage is getting to a part of the atmosphere with very low density, so we don't need to carry those fairing halves anymore. We can jettison them back to planet Earth and then attempt to recover them. Again, both of them being new fairing halves flying for this mission.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There's confirmation of the fairing deploy, the IXPE satellite now getting directly exposed to the vacuum of space. And those fairing halves, again, will be attempting to recover those with our recovery vessel named Bob, which is out in the Atlantic Ocean. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We're about T plus 4 minutes and 20 seconds into today's mission.
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
On your screen is a view of the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage. It's completing its first of 2 planned burns to take the IXPE satellite into an initial parking orbit. We had an on-time liftoff at 1 a.m. Eastern Time. The first stage that carried the second stage this far separated and is on its way back to planet Earth. Its next major activity will happen at about T plus 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and that'll be for the entry burn, where it'll ignite a few of its engines to slow down in preparation for entering the Earth's atmosphere. Now, during the entry burn, we'll relight 3 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. That'll start with the center engine, followed shortly after by 2 of the side engines. That'll slow down the vehicle as we pass back into Earth's atmosphere, and we need to slow down on the first stage to reduce the entry forces, which helps us recover and reuse that first stage. Reusability is a key part
Stage 2 on nominal trajectory.
of lowering the cost of space flight, which enables more investment into the critical scientific hardware and research. Now, Falcon 9's first stage that supported today's mission will perform this entry burn for the 5th time, having previously done so for the Crew 1, Crew 2, Sirius XM-8, and Sirius 23 missions. And those brand new fairing halves will also re-enter Earth's atmosphere for the first time. The second stage, continuing to burn, its burn will continue until about T plus 8 minutes. And we've heard periodic callouts that we are seeing nominal performance and following a nominal trajectory.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
On the second stage.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
So left-hand side of your screen, you can see the grid fins and you can see the plume from the entry burn. At this point, we are firing 3 of the Merlin 1D engines. And we're decelerating the first stage, but we're still going pretty fast. So as we're flying into the Earth's atmosphere, that soot is actually getting kicked back, the plume is getting kicked back.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Onto the first stage. And the plume is carbon-based, so that'll deposit a nice layer of soot on the first stage's surface.
Stage 2 on nominal trajectory.
Nominal shutdown of the entry burn. The next activity for the first stage will be the landing burn. That'll happen at about T plus 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Second stage continuing to look nominal. Now, the engines on both the first and second stage are different. The Merlin engines on the first stage are optimized for sea level thrust, but the Merlin vacuum engine that you see on your screen is optimized for vacuum. And the difference there is how much we can expand the pressurized
FTS is saved.
gases that are being produced by the Merlin
Stage 1
engine.
transonic.
Call out there for stage 1 being transonic, so it's transitioning from supersonic speeds back to subsonic speed. And next events coming up will be second engine cutoff number 1, that's shutdown of this Merlin vacuum engine. And pretty close after, we'll hear a call out for landing burn startup on the first stage.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And back engine cutoff.
So shutdown of the Merlin vacuum engine. We've got landing burn startup on the first stage. Left-hand side of your screen is a shot from the drone ship.
Nominal
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And correction, that's a shot from the first stage. And on the right-hand side is a shot from the drone ship. We've deployed the landing legs, hopefully for a soft touchdown on just read the instructions.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And that is a 97th successful recovery of a first stage on our drone ship named Just Read the Instructions. This particular first stage having scored 5 flights under its belt. Now, the mission isn't over just yet. The second stage on your screen is now embarking on its first coast phase, and it's in its nominal orbit. So after this coast phase, we'll light the Merlin vacuum engine for a second time around T plus 29 minutes to put it into the final circular orbit for payload deployment. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes, but in the meantime, enjoy the space jams and the views of the stages.